Good evening, everyone. This is Russ.
I'm Mark.
And you're watching A Spirited Endeavor. Tonight we're going to be discussing one of our favorite whiskeys. Happens to be Jura from the Isle of Jura.
Yeah, I'm always great. It's always great to get something from Jura. We've had great luck with the Jura whiskeys. Haven't found one yet that we've been disappointed with.
Agreed. This one's actually their base 10-year. So as Mark elaborated, we've tried their 18, which was absolutely fantastic.
I know, unbelievable.
But this one, in my opinion, has been a raging bargain at about $37, and I think it's about time that we actually did a review on it. So this is what we're discussing. Now this one does have color added, and it is chill filtered, so it does have those two strikes against it, but that said, it is just tasty.
Absolutely. And and what we found with some of these with the that have had color added and chill filtered, Lagavulin is another one.
Oh, absolutely.
Is honestly, I don't see where that has detracted from it whatsoever.
No, I mean, it's not the be-all, end-all, in my opinion. Yeah, I could see where having one that's not chill filtered brings a little bit more to the table, but sometimes you want something that's just smooth, provides the flavors that you're looking for without smacking you around or being too much of a challenge.
Absolutely. And what we found with non-chill filtered is they're very oily. They have a tendency to cling to the palate a little bit more, and sometimes you're just looking for a nice, refreshing, a dram.
Agreed. And this one certainly fits the bill in that regard.
All right. Well, I'm excited to try this one again.
Yeah. This is definitely not new to either one of us, but it's the first time I think we've actually done a review of it on camera anyhow. There we go. Do a small pour. Ooh, a little bit bigger than small.
Okay. It won't go to waste.
Yeah, definitely not.
All right.
I do have to say that whether it's color added or not, it is a pretty whiskey.
Yep, it's a dark amber, kind of, like a honey color, but like a dark honey.
Yeah, and it does have decent cling on the glass. You can see here. I mean, it's a nice looking whiskey.
It's a great smelling whiskey
It really
too.
is. I love
it really does have that briny sea foam. You get the oak barrel in there, a little bit of vanilla.
Yes, definitely. But it's not anything that's going to be off-putting. Again, that's one of the things that appeals to me about this one is it's pretty accessible for the average drinker, I think.
Yeah, and it's what I would consider like a great entry point Scotch. We were talking with one of the clerks over at Turtle Creek, and she had tried Scotch and didn't like it, but the Scotch that she tried was a heavily peated, very smoky Scotch. And I recommended that she try something like this as an entry point. It's got enough complexity and everything where you can spend an evening trying to figure it out.
Oh, absolutely. But it's not going to push the limits of the typical whiskey drinker, I think.
Absolutely. All right. Smooth. Had nothing to do with the whiskey. So, all right. Yeah. So, vanilla.
Yep.
Vanilla butterscotch. On the back end, I get a little bit of that oakiness in there.
Yep. It's not overly spicy, so the oak isn't, again, beating you over the head. I've got one at home that I'm struggling through just because of the fact that the oak is so present. This one, it's there, but it's not in your face.
Yeah, I'm really picking up those vanilla notes. I mean, this is, buttery. It's vanilla. It's got a little bit of that brininess to it.
Yep.
But not like overly briny.
And the texture is perfect. It's not it's not one of those really dry whiskeys that leaves you feeling parched afterwards. Some of the ones that are really oak forward, you'll notice that. This one does not bring that to the table. It's got a really nice texture to it.
Really does. It's good mouth feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not overly oily. It doesn't really cling to the palate. You know, you're not getting a long lingering aftertaste to it. You know, it's there. It's a nice warmth to it, and you know, and then you're ready for the next sip.
No, you're absolutely right. And that's a very good point. You know, there are times when you want something that's going to linger. You want something that's a little heavier on the palate. This is perfect for those nights where you just want to sip one, enjoy it. And again, this, perfect. I mean, you can see how much is left in the bottle here. It's obviously been pretty well hit.
It's been well loved.
Yeah, good way of putting it.
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
Just goes to show, you know, you don't have to have the most expensive, complex whiskey out there to enjoy it.
Very true. And all right, so you know we have a rating scale.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've tried this a number of times.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always ranked pretty high. I mean, you know, on this, you know, by itself, without anything to compare it to. I mean, what do you think?
If I was just to go back, if I was to go off of how often I've hit that bottle, it'd score way up there. But I do have to compare it to some of the other stuff that we've tried. I feel comfortable giving it a 4. Realistically, there are people out there who might give it a 3 because it's not overly complex. But for me, for something that's just a good sipper that I'm going to go to on a regular basis, I'm going to put it at a 4.
Fabulous. Yeah, I think of it as a 3.5 to 4. Certainly in that range. It's like you said, it's not very complex. It's a smooth sipper. I mean, it's great for you know, if you just want something like after work. I don't know if I'd necessarily use it for a special occasion.
No, definitely not. I would agree with that. It is.
It's like an everyday whiskey. It's like an everyday
really
scotch. Yeah.
Yep. If you're somebody that goes after what's Glenlivet, this would be a really nice alternative. In a lot of respects, I think it's actually significantly better than Glenlivet.
For sure.
I think it's smoother. It's easier to drink neat, in my opinion. And I like that the vanilla is a bit more forward on this than it is with the Glenlivet.
Yeah, I certainly put it up there with like like the Glenlivet, but I also put it up there with like Glenmorangie.
That's a good point. It is very similar to Glenmorangie.
It's very
actually.
similar. Yeah.
Yeah. There's some of the notes are just a little bit different, but yeah, that's a really good comparison. If Glenmorangie is something that you've tried and you like that, I think this would be right up your alley.
Yeah, agreed. Again, it's a great entry level scotch.
Yeah.
You know, if you're trying it for the first time, this is one that you'd want to try for the first time.
Sure.
You know, it's going to entice you. It's going to, you know, it's something you can train your palate with.
I agree. Yeah. You're going to get the vanilla right up front, but if you do work with it a little bit, you do pick up some other notes along the way. Every now and then I get just this little bit of nutty flavor to it. It depends on where my palate is that particular day, but absolutely an enjoyable dram. Would recommend it highly, and I'm certainly going to buy more.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I'd like to sit down with like a bowl of nuts with that.
I agree.
Know, just like like Brazil nuts or something.
Yep.
You know, or macadamias.
It would be a very good fit.
I think so.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. I hope you find this to be informative.
Yeah, thank you. It's one of our shorts. So
yeah, we'll see how this goes over, but it's been a hell of a lot of fun to record.
All right. Thank you all.
Take care, guys.